this video, I want to cover forearm training. It's a common question that I get. Now, if you look at most of my programs that are on my website include forearm exercises along with biceps. But if you look at an exercise program like Shortcut to Size on bodybuilding.com, you'll notice that there's no specific forearm training. So a lot of people who are following that program and don't really know a lot of my stuff ask why there's no forearm training and what they can do. Well, there's no forearm training specifically in Shortcut to Size because Shortcut to Size is not a beginner's program, but it's sort of an introductory program, I guess, to people on my training philosophies. And the real core of Shortcut to Size is teaching about the microcycles and the periodization and the different rep ranges that are used in the massive gains in strength and size that those help with. So, a lot of people aren't focused on forearm training specifically. So for a program like that, I didn't include forearm training because I didn't want people to think, well, on top of all this other, biceps and triceps training and the chest and the shoulders and the traps, that they also had to find time to work in forearm training. So for those who aren't really interested in focusing purely on forearms or don't need it, a lot of people just don't need specific forearm training. They get it from their back training, they get it from the biceps training. The forearms respond well to that. But for those whose forearms don't respond well to that, or for those who want to focus more on forearms, I highly encourage you to include forearm training. Like I said, those of you who know my other programs know that I do include forearm training in most of those, and I work on forearm training as well as grip training myself a lot. So now, forearm training and grip strength training are completely two different things. Today we're going to focus on forearm training. Now, the two main moves to target the forearms are basically flexion of the wrist, which is going to be your wrist curls, and then extension of the wrist, which is going to be your reverse wrist curls. It's really that simple. So if you want to add forearm training, and this also strengthens the wrists as well. It doesn't necessarily strengthen your grip, though. Like I said, that's completely different. The two main moves are going to be your wrist curls and your reverse wrist curls. So for those following Shortcut to Size who want to add on some forearm training, 3 to 4 sets of wrist curls and 3 to 4 sets of reverse wrist curls, and you're set. That'll adequately target your forearm on both the flexor side and the extensor side. So you can do wrist curls. The two main ways are barbell or dumbbell. And so with a barbell, you're simply going to hold the bar at about shoulder width grip or maybe closer. I prefer resting my forearms on my knees and then simply allowing the bar to roll down low on the fingers, come up and flex your wrists as high as you can bring your hands, and then back down. For dumbbell wrist curls, it's pretty much going to be the same. I like also resting my forearm on my knee. You're just doing this one arm at a time. Same thing, you're going to allow the dumbbell to come down low to extend that wrist, which is going to extend those muscle fibers so you can contract them with a stronger contraction, and then bring your hand, flex your wrist, bring your hand up as high as you can, and then you simply switch hands. Now, one of the great ways I like to train forearms if I'm using dumbbells is to basically go back and forth without any rest until I've done all 3 to 4 sets. So I simply go with the right arm until I reach muscle failure. Once I've reached muscle failure, I immediately go to the left arm till I reach muscle failure on that side, and then I keep going back because my right arm was getting a bit of a rest while my left arm was training. You'll find that the reps obviously go down each set, but it's a great way to throw in some quick forearm training at the end of your workout. Now you also want to train your wrist extensors, the top of the forearm. Like I said, that's basically the reverse wrist curl, and you're simply gonna, I like to rest my forearms again on my legs and then bring the bar down and simply curl it up as high as you can, extending that wrist, bringing your hand up, and then the same with dumbbell. You're gonna flex the arm, let the flex the wrist, let the arm hang down, and then bring it up as high as you can, holding it for a second, getting that contraction in those wrist extensors, and then just switching arms. And again, you can do the same thing as I mentioned with the wrist curl. You're just switching back and forth till you've done all 3 to 4 sets. It's a great way to quickly hit your forearms on both sides with little time, which most of us have at the end of a workout. Where do you put your forearm training? I recommend you doing it right after you train biceps. Like I said, add 3 to 4 sets of some form of the wrist curl, 3 to 4 sets of some form of reverse wrist curls to work those extensors. As far as rep ranges, like everything else, I recommend mixing up your rep ranges, going very high reps, up to 30 reps, and down to even lows of 3 to 5 rep range. Remember, the rep variety is the best way to see gains in both muscle size and muscle strength. So that's my little take on forearm training. Add it in to your workouts after you've trained biceps, and you'll see a world of difference in your forearm size as well as your wrist strength. And look for more tips like this here at jimstoppani.com.